What's up people, welcome back to the channel. This is Vikram and the bike which I'm going to be riding today is the TVS Raider 125. Let me quickly grab my gloves and we'll leave. So let me start the bike first. And the thing is, this video is a long due, I know that, but it's a silent start and off we go. So guys, initially when I thought of reviewing this motorcycle, I just thought I need to ride this motorcycle for a little longer so that I can give an honest review. And I've ridden it for some 10,000 odd kilometers already, so I think I'm qualified enough to talk about the motorcycle. One of my favorite aspects of this motorcycle is it doesn't knock whatsoever. See, I'm in 4th gear and speed is what, 25-30, and the moment I twist the throttle, the response is kind of immediate. Not so punchy as such, but there's no knocking whatsoever. So I just want to divide this video into two parts. Initially I'll be talking about the cons and then we'll go to the pros of this motorcycle. So when I want to talk about the cons of this motorcycle, the first thing I want to talk about is this instrument cluster, but I'll come to that in a bit. Before that, I want to talk about this mode selector, which is present exactly where the engine kill switch is supposed to be there. But I know it's not that big of an issue, but we were used to using kill switch ever since a very long time. So during the initial days of riding this motorcycle, I used to mistake this to a kill switch, and whenever I wanted to turn the engine off, I used to I used to change the mode of the motorcycle, and that's not that big of an issue. Coming to the major one, this instrument cluster, it has got a lot of glitches, man. This gear position indicator is absolute shit. Whenever I shift a gear, it just doesn't show the proper gear. I'll show you that in a bit. I've just shifted into 5th gear, but it didn't change, and now it's showing 0, as you can see over here. And after a couple of minutes, it'll again show 5, and then it'll show 4, 3, whatever. Even if I don't shift a gear, it'll change on the cluster. That is how buggy it is. I just don't know if it's a software issue or something else, but the company people are not able to resolve it. I've raised the complaint a couple of times, but they were like, we've sorted it out. And after riding it for some kilometers, after getting it out of the service, I just noticed the problem coming all over again. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is the gearing and the clutch. Clutch is kind of heavy for 125cc standards, and gearing is a little bit soggy, but due course of riding it after 3rd and 4th services, it kind of subsided, the sogginess, but it is still not proper. There's no clicking feel to the gear, and the clutch is heavy ever since the beginning. Apart from that, I haven't faced any issues. Slight amount of panel gaps here and there, and some clamps vibrating, like the number plate clamp and all, but that is because of the roads which we ride on. And this is what I was talking about. Whenever we want to turn the engine off, we end up changing the mode during the initial days of riding, but once we get used to it, there's no problem whatsoever. That brings us to my favorite part of the vlog, which is pros of this motorcycle, and the first one happens to be its performance. This being a 125cc motorcycle has got some phenomenal in-gear acceleration. Of course, the first gear is short, it runs out of breath very quickly, but in every given gear, the weight pulls is very nice, and it's got some decent power at 11.5 bhp, and the torque output happens to be some 11.5 newton meters, but the weight puts down all that little power it's got is very nice. And the way it responds to throttle inputs is phenomenal, to say the least, because this is a smaller capacity motorcycle and we expect a very little from it, and it never fails or never disappoints you in that respect, because you just don't need to downshift to overtake, just throttle and the bike goes ahead. It's not like it's very fast and it's capable of doing high speeds and all that, but this being a commuter, a 125cc commuter, it does justice to what it's got. And now coming to the riding modes of this motorcycle, we've got two riding modes over here, Eco and Power. In eco it does rev all the way till 7,500 RPM, and in power it revs all the way till, hold your breath, 10,500 RPM. And a 125cc motorcycle revving all the way till 10,500 RPM is insane, man. And as a lot of people complain that riding modes in Raider were useless, I just didn't feel it's true, because whenever you want to ride the motorcycle sedately, put it in eco, and whenever you want to ride it or whenever you want to rev it high, just put it in sports mode or power mode, and you will definitely feel the difference, because there's a lot of margin in the highest RPM, and the way it performs as well is kind of different in both the riding modes. And coming to the fuel economy of this motorcycle, the claimed figures are somewhere around 60, 65, 70 and whatever, but after riding it for 10,500 RPM, sorry, after riding it for some 10,000 odd kilometers, what I observed was average fuel economy of this motorcycle is somewhere in between 55 to 60 in the real world. It definitely depends on your riding style. Again, I'm not someone who rides too aggressively, so I'm getting somewhere around 55 to 60, and if you're someone who rides aggressively, that might drop to 50 or something. And now I think we've rode enough on highways. Let's just take a turn so that I can show you people how the suspension is. Actually, as you have already seen, when I was riding on the highway, it was extremely stable. And this has got an adjustable monoshock in the rear, which is of course adjustable for preload, and up front we've got conventional telescopic forks which are not adjustable, and of course at this price point adjustable front forks are not expected. As you can see, the suspension is extremely soft on bad patch of road, and when I was riding on the highway it was extremely stable. The way it's tuned is very nice, and it's very stable while turning, and it's kind of agile as well. I just didn't expect such a character from this motorcycle, and something at this price point. And that brings us to the brakes of this motorcycle, which are extremely nice, because I just use the term extremely in this vlog a lot of times, because this bike has got a very nice stopping power. Up front we have a disc, and in the rear we've got a drum, and the disc which is present in the front is a pedal disc, so that the cooling efficiency at the disc doesn't heat up much, and I just don't think that is practical enough. And the thing is, for the speeds this bike does, the stopping power these brakes offer is enough. In fact, it's more than adequate. So the road is extremely bad, and the way this suspension is performing is very nice. I'm extremely impressed with the suspension. And one more thing I just wanted to talk about is the seat. Seat is very soft. The amount of cushioning the seat has is very comfortable, the way it makes you sit, because the seat is flat, it's not slopey, and of course the seat is not adjustable, but we can adjust the seat height up to some 20 mm by raising the rear monoshock. I'm not sure if it's possible or not, but as per what I've seen in a couple of YouTube videos, they said it is possible to raise and lower the seat height by adjusting the suspension. And that brings us to one of my other favorite aspects of this motorcycle, its looks. Looks are obviously personal opinion. In my opinion, it's a looker, and this motorcycle has got 4 color options, which you can see on the screen right now, and this motorcycle which I'm currently riding is red color. Design is of course polarizing. It's a love it or a hate it design, especially that bumblebee sort of headlight. And on that note, it's time to end this vlog. This is my review of the TVS Raider 125. If you like the video, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video real soon. Until then, this is Vikram signing off. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, by the way.